Afternoon, good evening, or if you're where I am in the world right now, good night and welcome to the Daily Antidote of Song. We're somewhere in the 1300s, and as all of you all come into this space today, thank you for being here. Thank you for holding each other in song and in spirit. It's a tough world out there. We're holding on to a lot of news, a lot of grief, a lot of stories. And so I just wanted to invite everyone who's in the room and maybe who's listening on the live stream to just breathe in with me a couple of times and just see where your nerves are today and see if you can be present in this room. There's a lot going on, but maybe for the next half hour we just sing and we allow the music to wash over us and heal us collectively, and hopefully as we heal we can send out some collective healing into the world. Thank you everyone on the live stream for being here today, and big thank you to Carpe Diem Arts who makes this possible. Thank you everyone in the room and welcome. We're so glad that you're here. Hi Joe in New Hampshire, and thank you for making this possible. On tech is Jaden, who is tuning in from Silver Spring today again. Thank you Jaden for making this possible. Hi Kevin in DC, and Marcia and Jim Scott and Nancy in Wisconsin, Susan in Cincinnati, Elizabeth in California, Kate in Charlottesville, welcome. Hi Sheila in Florida, hi Anne in Nashville, hi Laris coming in from the UK, and Arlene in Berkeley, hi Kevin in New Hampshire, hi Sue in Seattle, hi Carolyn in Boise, Idaho, and thank you for reminding us that it's day 1305 of the Daily Antidote of Song. Hi to Bob in Albany, and Antonina in Santa Cruz, Maureen from Edmonton, welcome. Hi Annette in California, and Hoda in BC, and hi Kathy in Virginia. Hi Judy coming in on an iPhone. Hi Linda on Orcas Island, and Carolyn in DC, welcome. Hi Cricket in Maryland, and James and Aloysius in Westford, and Gary, welcome. Hi Anne in Silver Spring, welcome. Jane, Texas May, welcome. Kathy in Denver. Hi to Elizabeth, welcome to Loriana and Kachina. Hi, we're so glad. And Courtney coming in from Vermont. Welcome to Linda Rose, welcome to Bronwyn in Victoria, BC. Hi to Bob tuning in on an iPhone. Hi to Sandy in Eugene, Oregon, and to the Curly Tops in Vermont, and Nancy and Kay Douglas coming in from Texas, LMG in Connecticut. We're so glad all of you are here to collectively create this space of the Daily Antidote of Song. So lovely today to welcome a wonderful musician coming in from Chicago, Juan Díes. Juan is a musician and one of the founding members of Sones de Mexico. I hope I'm saying that right. And it's an ensemble that brings great awareness and appreciation of Mexican musical tradition in the world. And today is a special day and a special song, and Juan will tell us more about this. Over to you, Juan.
Hi everyone from Chicago. Yes, we are here on a special day for Mexico. The 1st and the 2nd of November, we observe the Day of the Dead. In Mexico, it's a day to remember the people who have passed, our relatives, our loved ones. This is very different from Halloween. It's not about goblins and vampires and scary people. They're our grandparents, our relatives, the people who have passed. We believe there's a permeable threshold between the living and the dead, and this is the day when the dead, when we have a communion with our dead loved ones. People typically go to the cemeteries, they clean the graves, they place flowers, they tidy up. They may have a lunch over there. They may have like a picnic around the the grave and enjoy, family time and love. At home, people build altars. They set up a table with flowers, with pictures of the people who passed, and they may also place their favorite dish, remembering what they like to eat, or their favorite candy, or something that would, some object, some heirloom that reminds them of that person. So the idea is, as long as you keep these people in our memories, we keep them alive in our spirit, and we can continue to interact with them. There are times when we think of our parents or our grandparents. What would they have said? What advice would they have given me at this moment? Even if they're not physically around. And many times we can have a conversation with them and see what they would have said. That would bring us some solace, some direction. It'll make us feel like everything's going to be okay, etc. So this is it's a beautiful holiday, and there's also an aspect of defiance. People in Mexico not afraid of death. Death is something no one can escape. Certainly, we're all headed in that direction. So the idea is that we are defiant. We will not be afraid of it. We'll welcome it when it comes. Whenever God wills, the moment will arrive, and we want to push forward fearlessly. And that is why people poke fun at death. They have poems, obituaries for people who are still alive. On these Days of the Dead, they have pictures. People also wear masks of skeletons pretending to be dead. They dance to it. It's a joyful celebration. So it's nice where death might be a taboo in other countries. In Mexico, especially during these 2 days, it is a festival, a carnival, where we are not afraid of it. We welcome it. So that is what the Day of the Dead. And it's celebrated in different places in Mexico. I'm originally from San Luis Potosí, in the center of Mexico, right here. It's a very the city where I grew up is very religious, very Catholic, and very much by the book. So they don't participate in some of these more like pagan celebrations. So the Day of the Dead is not as strong where I grew up. But in other communities where there's a stronger indigenous influence, because this tradition of the Day of the Dead predates Christianity in Mexico. But in other places like Michoacan and Oaxaca, certainly around Mexico City, where there's stronger indigenous influence, you have bigger celebrations of the Day of the Dead. So. Yes, and the song we picked for today is going to take us to the state of Oaxaca, where this legend about the weeping woman comes from, La Llorona. Very possibly Mexico's best known legend.
Wow. So we're singing a song around this legend, is it, today? Is that the song that
Yes,
you found?
yes. So we have we're gonna get the lyrics put on the screen, and I put the translation for it. May not be the easiest to sing along to necessarily, because it doesn't have like a nice simple repeating chorus, but I'll sing it slowly. This picture shows this woman by the river weeping. And the idea is that she, when she was alive, she committed something very shameful, very bad, that made her soul remain on earth when she died. She wasn't able to ascend to heaven because she had things pending on this world. So she remains in penance by the river. And her voice is heard in the middle of the night. They say when it's very quiet, you can hear a woman's voice weeping by the river. And people say, oh, that's the weeping woman, La Llorona. So here in this picture, we can see the traditional dress in the upper right corner of the women from this area of Mexico, the Isthmus of Tehuantepec. This is the thinnest piece of land between the Gulf of Mexico and the Pacific Ocean, and also a brass band, because this music would typically be performed with a brass band, marimbas, guitars, etc. But this brass music is very, very popular in this part of Mexico. So let's give it a first go. Okay. So this song, it says, "What is it about the flowers in the cemetery? They sway with the wind. When they sway with the wind, they seem as if they were weeping." Right? Very poetic. It's talking about death. No sé qué tienen las flores, Llorona, las flores del Campo Santo. No sé qué tienen las flores, Llorona, las flores del Campo Santo, que cuando las mueve el viento, Llorona, parece que están llorando, que cuando las mueve el viento, Llorona, parece que están llorando. Ay, de mí, Llorona, 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 de ayer y hoy. Ay, de mí, Llorona, 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 de ayer y hoy. Ayer maravilla fui, Llorona, y ahora ni sombra soy. Ayer maravilla fui, Llorona, y ahora ni sombra soy. Dicen que no tengo duelo, Llorona, porque no me ven llorar. Dicen que no tengo duelo, Llorona, porque no me ven llorar. Hay muertos que no hacen ruido, Llorona, y es más grande su pena. Hay muertos que no hacen ruido, Llorona, y es más grande su pena. Ay, de mi Llorona, 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 llévame al río. Ay, de mi Llorona, 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 llévame al río. Tápame con tu rebozo, Llorona, porque me muero de frío. Tápame con tu rebozo, Llorona, porque me muero de frío.
Wow. Can we all just show our love and appreciation, gratitude to Juan Diez? That was
Thank you.
utterly gorgeous. I'm like halfway across the world from you. I have no idea of Mexican culture, and yet I thought I just felt a whiff of the flowers of Oaxaca as you were singing that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You know, I may be traveling to India next year. Hopefully I'll get to know your country. It's interesting to me that when Columbus crossed the Atlantic Ocean, his plan was to go to India and arrive in India and find a shortcut, and ran into America. And he felt that he had arrived in India, and he called the people here Indians.
Yeah.
So to this day, we keep calling the natives of this continent Indians.
But I see so much, so many parallels to this, because we just had our sort of 2 weeks of commemorating the dead. It's called Pitru Paksha over here. And we sort of just ended that at the turn of October, and went on till about mid-October. So I see so many parallels with indigenous cultures, and with cultures that haven't been where there's some aspect that hasn't been touched by Western civilization and colonization. So I'm really grateful to be witnessing this. Juan, I have to ask, and I'm sorry if it sounds like a completely ignorant question, but the only other time I've heard of this festival has been from the film Coco. So is there anything authentic in that film?
Yeah, well, certainly it's an animated cartoon by, I think it was Disney or Pixar, one of those film studios, but it wasn't bad. There's a couple of things I liked about it, how they handled the subject, because in a way it is a religious subject, but it is also a folklore, and it's a pagan holiday, and to some extent, and the way they transformed the story was, I think, was very well informed. The other thing I really liked about it was the animation. If you watch the character Coco's fingers on his guitar, there's a kid that plays the guitar.
Yeah.
You can see the actual chords fingered correctly on the songs that he's playing. Because I have a lot of guitar students that like that film, and I watched the film and I realized, I'm always, as a musician, I'm looking at people's hands, and I saw him fingering the correct chords for the song. So I was very. I think they do this with computer-generated animation, and they must have had a model who was, placing the right chords on the guitar. So yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. Also, the way the mouth moves. I got to see the English version and the Spanish version, and they made it so that the Spanish version has the correct mouth movements for the speech in Spanish, so it doesn't look like it's dubbed. And that was very pleasant also.
That's heartening to hear. That's really heartening to hear that a film has got something right, and that pop culture has got something right. But really, thank you for also taking the time and the effort to educate all of us in this room about this festival, and about the various regions. As I said, of course, I'm from the other part of the world, completely ignorant. So thank you for shining light on your culture.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thank you for welcoming this music into your lives.
Yeah. I wonder, Juan, if you would like to share maybe how do you celebrate this now that you're when you're in Chicago or something, do you continue to celebrate? Because you said your family doesn't is not from a region that celebrates it necessarily, right? Because of the increased Catholic influence.
Yeah, it wasn't very big when I was as I was growing up in my corner of the country. It wasn't as there were no parades, there were no big celebrations. People observed it, but it was more about going to church on that day, maybe having prayers for the dead, etc. Because it is on the Catholic calendar. It's just all the stuff that happens on the street, the candy, the dress ups, all that is not. It wasn't part of the church celebrations. But here in the United States, especially now that I have a cultural group, we are called upon to do things for the Day of the Dead. Interestingly, there isn't a body of music associated with the Day of the Dead, because many people say, can you play some music? I mean, unlike Christmas, there's a lot of repertoire for Christmas. There is no real repertoire for the Day of the Dead, because the music you would play would be whatever music was your dead relative's favorite music. You play the songs they liked to remember them by. So nothing specific to the Day of the Dead. This song, La Llorona, is not specific to the Day of the Dead. It's just a subject matter, deals with a woman's spirit, a woman who's dead, and etc.
I like the idea of that. I like the idea that there's no one specific music, that it's really up to you and how you celebrate it with your loved ones. That feels very, very meaningful and very real. Thank you for sharing that as well.
Yeah.
So Juan, would you like to sing through this once more?
Yeah, let's try it again. Maybe this time we'll put the lyrics as we usually do on the chat, so we can see each other's faces a little more. I'd love to see you guys sing along. I'll sing the part that the brass band sings as an introduction. Ya ba da ba da ba dum bum, ba da 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 dum bum, ba ba da ba dum, ba ba da ba dum, ba ba da ba da ba bum bum, ba ba da ba da da dum dum, ba da 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 dum dum, ba da 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 dum, ba da 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 dum, ba da 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 dum bum, ba da 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 No sé qué tienen las flores, Llorona, las flores del Campo Santo. No sé qué tienen las flores, Llorona, las flores del Campo Santo, que cuando las mueve el viento, Llorona, parece que están llorando. Cuando las mueve el viento, Llorona, parece que están llorando. Ay de mí, Llorona, 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 de ayer y hoy. Ay de mí, Llorona, 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 de ayer y hoy. Ayer maravilla fui, Llorona, y ahora ni sombra soy. Ayer maravilla fui, Llorona, y ahora ni sombra soy. Parararararam pam, parararararam pam, pararararam, pararararam, pararararam pam, pa 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 para pam. Pa 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 para pam pam, pa 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 pam para pa pa pam, pa 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 para pam pam, pa 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 para 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 pa pa pam pa pa pam 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 pam. Dicen que no tengo duelo, Llorona, porque no me ven llorar. Dicen que no tengo duelo, Llorona, porque no me ven llorar. Hay muertos que no hacen ruido, Llorona, y es más grande su penar. Hay muertos que no hacen ruido, Llorona, y es más grande su penar. Ay de mi Llorona, 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 llévame al río. Ay de mi Llorona, 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 llévame al río, tápame con tu rebozo, llorona, porque me muero de frío. Tápame con tu rebozo, llorona, porque me muero de frío. Parararararán, pararararararán, parararararararararararararararán, param, pam, pararararán.
Wow. Let's give it up for Juan Diaz.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful song, and thank you for sharing so much. And letting us know about the customs and the tradition and where the song comes from, and all of these things that are actually so critical in our own unlearning and understanding of cultures and customs. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Nancy's asking whether everything is always sang twice, or I'm just only doing it for teaching. And yes, they are sung twice. And the other thing, though, is that the lyrics I sang are not always the same. There's a repertoire, like a very large repertoire of lyrics, and each singer would pick a different set, or I imagine some people would write their own. So that happens a lot in traditional music in Mexico, where there is no set lyrics.
And I'm guessing there's no author. The poet is unknown. It's something that's come across time and
Yeah, there's tales about a possible origin for this in a letter that a man wrote to her loved one as he was departing for war, but we are not sure which war it was, or how accurate this was. But it
so.
apparently originated in a letter.
Wow. So do we know roughly how old this might be? Can we wager a guess? No, it could be anything, huh?
I haven't done any research on the origins of this.
I
So
love
the
songs
song,
that.
what I do know is the song may not be connected to the legend. It may just be the name that this man was giving to his fiance as he was
Yeah.
leaving for war. She was crying, so he called her Llorona, uh, referencing this legend, this popular legend. Because if you look at all the repertoire of lyrics, they don't really talk about that legend or what this woman did, or they don't really talk about her. They talk
Right.
about death. They talk about leaving. They talk about many things, but I am convinced that there may not be a direct connection between the legend and the song.
Okay. Thank you. I'm also reflecting on this whole need to know in my own brain, and I'm like, what are you going to do with that? Just sit with the energy and the gorgeousness of the song. So thank you for the song, and thank you for all the stories around it. Everyone, let's give a lovely, warm daily antidote of filled with gratitude to Juan. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your music, and thank you for sharing these
Thank you and good
celebrations.
night.
Good night. And let's wave goodbye to Juan and to everyone on the live stream. Thank you for being here, and everyone in the room. Again, thank you for your presence, and thank you for singing along. Thank you for these shared connections. Goodbye, Kevin in DC and Susan in Cincinnati. Goodbye, Kate in Charlottesville, Annette in California. Goodbye, Laris in the UK, Carolyn in DC, Arlene in Berkeley, Kevin in New Hampshire. Goodbye, Antonina in Santa Cruz, Maureen in Edmonton, Sue in Seattle. Goodbye, Julie and Rosemary and Bob in Albany. Goodbye, Linda on Orcas Island, Kathy in Denver, Hoda in BC, Kathy in Virginia, Carolyn in Boise, Anne in Nashville. Goodbye. Goodbye, Gary. Goodbye, Anne in Silver Spring, Cricket in Maryland, James Goodbye, Jane and Bob and a bear in Massachusetts. Fred in Silver Spring. Goodbye, Storm. Goodbye, Elizabeth. Goodbye, Sheila in Florida. Goodbye, Curly Tops in Vermont. Goodbye, Nancy. And goodbye, LMG in Connecticut. And Pune in Mumbai. Goodbye. Thank you, Jaden and Joe, for making this possible. As always, have a wonderful day. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.